So good morning everyone. First of all, we would like to thank you all the helpers in assisting this press conference and reporters for your time to attend. We are the committee of the Sue the Abuser crowdfunding scheme. We are the victims who suffer from the government's abuse of power, mostly police brutality since the anti-extradition bill protests. And here we announce the crowdfunding scheme for the purpose of suing the abuser, including the Hong Kong government, Hong Kong police force, and the public bodies for the abuse of power. So let me introduce the individual committee members first. Mr. Hong Lun, who was hit and arrested by the Special Tactical Squad on the 12th of June on Harcourt Road in Admiralty. And this is my father, Mr. Yang Mo, also called as Lo who was shot by the rubber bullets and arrested on the 12th of June at the junction of Tin Wah Avenue and Harcourt Road in Admiralty. Mr. Shan Lu, who was attacked by the Riot police at Tai Po Road, Sha Tin on 14th of July. And Mr. Samson Chen, whose head was hit by a few Riot police during using the buttons while Mr. Chen was just having an after-dinner walk in the park with his son in Chen on the 4th of August. And Mr. Chen had a stroke before the attack by the police. And Mr. Lucas Lam, who was hit and arrested by an undercover police on Hennessy Road in Causeway Bay on the 11th of August. His left arm was therefore suffered an acute bone fracture. Mr. Andy Chen, the Eastern District Councillor, who was arrested for disorder in public places while assisting passengers to leave the Chai Wan MTR station on the 1st of September. Today, we are here to speak on behalf of the 10 victims. However, as the other 4 victims would like to remain confidential, so we will not release their information here. As you can see from the previous videos and photos, the abuse of force by Hong Kong police while performing their duties is becoming worse and worse. We simply don't see the reason why the police officers of the Special Tactical Squad or the Riot Police to hit the protesters or citizens repeatedly with buttons even after they have been restrained by the police. As the police failed to place the police identity number on their uniforms, we could not recognize the identity of the police concerned. In the absence of such identification, it would make the police think that they could do anything without any consequence. The same applies to the Hong Kong government and public bodies. We hope that through the filing of the civil cases against the abuser, they will have to eventually bear the legal responsibility for their wrongdoings and also to deter the similar abuse of power from happening. We are going to give you some details of the crowdfunding scheme. With the help of the Civil Human Rights Front's team lawyers, the 10 victims will be having a schedule to commence civil proceedings against the Hong Kong government and also Hong Kong police force. There will be 2 phases to the crowdfunding scheme. And in the first phase, the target is 10 million Hong Kong dollars. The fund will be spent on all of the 10 victims in the civil cases. This will include clause for civil actions in both the first instance stage and also the appeal stage, medical experts, and also legal fees. Some of you may wonder why our target is set as 10 million Hong Kong dollars. The main reason is that if any one of us lose the case, the fund will support us by paying the winning party's legal fees. The losing party in a civil cases is normally ordered to pay the cost of the winning party, and such costs are the expenses that the winning party spend on the preparation and also hearing of the cases. The amount of legal costs in such litigation could be substantial and may amount to several $1 million, especially when the government engage social counselor in Hong Kong or even Queen's Counsel from overseas. Most of the victims would not be able to afford the legal fee of the government, and hence we would need to grant together this amount of funds in order to help us in the initiating the legal cases. We have had a discussion with the legal team and consider that 10 million is a reasonable estimate. That's the amount we need for the 10 victims. As the civil cases can go on a few years, and we cannot make our legal team work for nothing. So we would negotiate a fee rate which is lower than the market rate with our legal team, and such way will not be higher than that set by the legal aid scheme. For the decision making as how to use the fund raised, the 6 of us who make our identities public will discuss, and we will have the final say as to how the money will be well spent. So what if we win in the civil cases? And what are we going to do with the compensation if we win the cases? We will stress that we want to initiate the legal actions because of justice. If we win the cases, each of us has the absolute power in how we wish to use the compensation. No one else will be able to distribute the compensation, and the legal team will not be involved in this. Lastly, I would like to talk about the donation system. We have explored the possibility with a number of the organizations. Despite all the difficulties, the League of Social Democrats has kindly agreed to let us use their bank account with zero balance for the crowdfunding scheme. The way we do it will be do it online. Once you have clicked into the official link of the League of Social Democrats, you will find the link for the crowdfunding scheme. And you can click in the online donation, and please note that the supplier of the online platform will charge a 3.4% handling fee. I wish to stress that the bank account has zero balance, and this account will only be used for this Sue the Abuser crowdfunding scheme. As to whether we will launch the second phase scheme, it will all depend on the public reaction after the launch of this first phase. If there is an increasing number of victims with cases, we with Maurice come forward to seek for help. We would definitely consider the possibility of a second phase after consulting our lawyers. And lastly, we appreciate your support in the crowdfunding scheme. The scheme will only be successful with your help. Justice is for all, and let's go hand in hand in unity to fight against the abuse of power. Thank you.